There are no shortage of questions for the COVID inquiry. Did we lock down too late? Why was PPE in short supply early on? Did test and trace work effectively enough? For bereaved families like Courtney Rumble, who lost her beloved grandmother Violet to COVID, the Prime Minister's announcement of a full public inquiry is welcome.
The right moment for the inquiry to begin is at the end of this period in the spring of next year.
Delaying the start to spring is not.
Why can't it start tomorrow? Like when someone dies of COVID, yeah, one person dies. That's not the only affected person or impacted person. You then have families behind that who almost like, it's almost like we are dying inside because we're longing for answers and now we've got to wait till spring.
In the Commons, the Prime Minister promised the inquiry would be able to compel witnesses to give evidence and would put the government's actions under the microscope.
Amid such tragedy, the state has an obligation to examine its actions as rigorously and as candidly as possible and to learn every lesson for the future.
The Labour leader too questioned why it couldn't start sooner.
The principle is that the inquiry should be as soon as possible. As soon as possible. Now, I understand a statutory inquiry will take time to set up. Of course it will. But why can it not be later this year? Why can it not start earlier?
Those who worked on the front line during the pandemic have their own pressing questions.
Patients are dying who have staff members who are relatives who go straight back to work. It's really, really, really terrible.
That was how palliative care doctor Katie Sanderson described the situation at the height of the pandemic. And today,
I feel very strongly that we need to understand why so many staff died, why they weren't protected, and how we could prevent that happening in the future. And one of the things that I found very distressing is the lack of sort of systematic investigation of staff deaths.
The inquiry will examine all aspects of the UK's response to COVID. It will be thorough, but it might take years. More hearts were added to the COVID memorial wall today. More families waiting to understand what happened. Romilly Weeks, News at 10.